Meanwhile, Canadian protesters turn out in Toronto to push ahead with their demand for the resignation of the city's mayor. Well, the protesters want Mayor Rob Ford to step down over an alleged video that apparently shows him smoking crack cocaine. Ford has denied the video exists, accusing the media of stoking a scandal. The mayor has refused to answer questions about the scandal in his most recent news conferences. Ford has said that he would not step aside and that he's planning to seek re-election. Well, to discuss that a bit further, we're now joined by Joshua Blakeney, Press TV's correspondent, who's joining us live now from Calgary. Now, Joshua, tell us a bit more about the situation in Toronto. What exactly are people expecting to happen going forward?
Well, I think people are disgruntled with the fact that politicians in general in Canada these days aren't very responsive to the citizenry. Of course, these are the very politicians that are lecturing other countries on democracy and on what a perfect society ought to look like. And yet these politicians are day in, day out being exposed as having done outrageous things, and yet they're not responsive to the citizenry. That's why you're seeing mass mobilizations, be it Idle No More, be it the Occupy movement, or now yet again a protest in Toronto against Mayor Rob Ford. Basically, a drug dealer came forward and claimed to have a video of the mayor of Toronto smoking what appeared to be crack cocaine. And people think that that a politician ought to address that in a very robust way and deny the allegations. He has made some general statements saying that he doesn't use crack cocaine, but I think people want to see some kind of inquiry into this and see a resignation. At least the protesters were hoping to do that. But I think the bigger picture here that we have to understand is that in this country, the politicians aren't really the people in power. And one way that the capitalists and the well-heeled in society control the political domain is by cultivating politicians who are pliable, and often having politicians who have vices such as sexual promiscuity or drug addiction or alcohol addiction. That's one way that they can be controlled. For example, it's widely speculated that the Harper administration is replete with homosexuals. Now, that would be one way. Having skeletons in the closets of politicians like that is one way that they can potentially be
Joshua, I do apologize
or
for interrupting you. I just want to ask you another question, if I may, briefly. How are people reacting to the fact that a video of this, apparent time when, Rob Ford was smoking this crack cocaine hasn't yet come out, either by the Toronto Star or Gawker or other sites that are apparently involved here?
Yeah, well, the problem is the drug dealer wanted like $100,000 for the video, so he's asking for quite a lot of money, and I gather he's gone missing now. And so I think what basically all that has happened at this stage is that two journalists from the Toronto Star went and met this drug dealer in a car park allegedly and viewed the video and said, in their view, it looked like the mayor of Toronto. So the mayor of Toronto has this defense that, well, where is this video, he says, to prove that I'm smoking crack cocaine. There's no evidence, he says. But we have two quite well-respected journalists who say they've seen such a video, as well as someone at Gawker, who's another media outlet, that says they've seen the video. And so, unfortunately, there's this ambiguity which allows the mayor of Toronto to have this defense, and that's preventing him from acknowledging any wrongdoing. In fact, he's denying any wrongdoing. So at this stage, the mayor has this defense that, well, if there is this video, show it, kind of thing.
All right, Joshua, thanks a lot for that. We're now going to go back to Kabul to speak to Faiz Khurshid about the story I brought you a bit earlier about Afghan